They thought peace was eternal. They forgot the silence before storms. But under the earth's veins, something old began to breathe again.
No, this cannot be happening. We need to shut it down.
Science measured what faith had already warned. The seal of Dhul-Qarnayn began to whisper, then to scream. And the first breath of hell escaped into daylight. The tall ones, those who had seen the flood, rose again. The Middle Legion followed, countless, unending, unstoppable. The smallest moved like whispers and devoured like fire. The barrier was gone. The waiting was over.
We are facing an unprecedented global crisis.
The world watched prophecy unfold in real time and still doubted. The first battle lasted 3 minutes, and no one survived. Night fell and did not rise again.
By the ancient rites,
The believers whispered the story that science had buried. Even the seas surrendered to their hunger. Heaven itself echoed the earth's panic. Mankind began its last migration from life to legend. Their hunger had no memory, only instinct. Even monsters had no peace among themselves. The earth itself stopped breathing. The world's pulse grew faint, but prophecy's heart began to beat. The sky became a wound that never healed. They did not conquer, they consumed.
Can anyone hear us? Please, we need sanctuary.
Hope now lived in pixels and static. They ate the bones of civilization as if tasting memory. They filled every silence with hunger. Even monsters had no peace among themselves. When the world forgot God, only whispers remembered. The waters carried death farther than the wind. The sun hid its face from mankind. Man tried to make angels, but built nothing with souls. Metal met flesh, and both broke. Every city was now a grave without names. They ruled not from castles, but from carcasses. The living envied the dead. Heaven answered with fury, but not for us. She saw what would end them, and it flew. The earth itself stopped breathing. The age of man was recorded as myth. Even in death, they reached for the stars. But prophecy was not done. The eaters were yet to be eaten. The world no longer turned, it waited. Even the dying dreamed of wings. Their king watched the silence with pride. He believed eternity had a shape. The earth had become their table, and we, their memory. From beneath the seas came whispers of the one who sealed them. His name returned to the air, Dhul-Qarnayn. The smallest began to fly, and terror found a new height. They became one storm, and the wind obeyed them. Nature fell last, and it fell quietly. Even monsters wonder if they were made or cursed. The heavens began to write again. From among the ashes, destiny found a voice. The first of them fell without blade or bullet. Heaven wept acid tears and cleansed nothing. They reached upward, not knowing what waited above. The world's pulse grew faint, but prophecy's heart began to beat. It was not a weapon, it was a watcher. Creation remembered its maker. For every beast that crawled, heaven had its hunter. And for the first time, the eater felt fear. When even the stars turned their faces, the final dawn began. Prophecy fulfilled, the world stands judged. One voice prayed, and heaven answered with wings. The sky tore itself open, not in rage, but in purpose. And from the heavens came the eaters of the eaters. Fear, a gift they had never tasted, returned to them. Light collided with flesh, and judgment took form. Even kings cannot shout down destiny. Justice fell like lightning, selective, surgical, final. The sea, once black, remembered its color. And the mightiest voice became an echo. And the world took its first breath in centuries. From 7 billion to 7 souls, rebirth began with a whisper. He warned them. History rewrote itself in tears. Where death once ruled, purity fell like snow. The cosmos blinked and balance returned. Life, patient and quiet, began again. But prophecy never dies, it waits. The story of Gog and Magog faded into myth until it is remembered again.